Come pensive autumn with thy clouds and storms, and falling leaves and pastures lost to flowers. A luscious charm hangs on thy faded forms, more sweet than summer in her loveliest hours. Who in her blooming uniform of green delights with samely and continued joy. But give me autumn where thy hand hath been, for there is wildness that can never cloy. The russet hue of fields left bare, and all the tint of leaves and blossoms ere they fall. In thy dull days of clouds a pleasure comes, wild music softens in thy hollow winds, and in thy fading woods a beauty blooms that's more than dear to melancholy minds. That was To Autumn by Clare. I don't know anything about him, don't know what else he's written. I'm not even sure where I originally heard that one, but I always liked that opening. Come pensive autumn with thy clouds and storms. That one stuck straight in somewhere in the back of my head and never really left. And then last week I cycled from Shrewsbury down to the Gower in South Wales, and it felt like autumn. If I'm honest, I probably got served up more than my fair share of clouds and storms and pensive autumn skies, and those lines just popped back into my head, and I thought, I haven't done a poetry of the saddle video for a long time, so here I am doing one of those videos that will probably lose me a whole bunch of subscribers, but it's a nice poem. It's good to ramble, it's worth it. I think I'm always talking on this channel about how it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And in terms of seasons, summer and winter are the destinations, spring and autumn, that's the journey, that's where the changes happen, that's where the adventures occur. And I love it, actually, I really do. And that ride last week, it was incredibly hard, if I'm honest, one of the hardest rides I've done. And there will be some videos coming from the road once I get round to doing the edit. But despite the hardship, I think I even say in one of them that those sort of landscapes, those big bleak mountainsides and dripping pine forests, they look better at this time of year. They look better shrouded in mist, dripping with rain. Brings out the contrast and the mystery and all of that sort of stuff. There's always something out there to be appreciated. Winter, summer, spring or autumn. It's important to remember that, I think. The weather can make these little adventures somewhat harder, I guess, but it's not worth stopping. It's always good to get out and give it a try. I wish there was some kind of clever narrative plot device way that I could bring the focus of that poem around to some relevant life event pertinent to the content of this channel, but sadly I've got nothing so clever lined up. As with the other poetry of the saddle videos, I'm just sharing some nice words, somebody else's perspective that happens to gel somewhat with my own experience of being outside doing these trips that I do. Now, because I'm not a hardcore all-weather bikepacker, I'll be going at least semi-dormant come the colder months, the same as a lot of people. Now, we are heading out of summer, and as every year I see the changes you associate with this season. Not just the traditional ones of the falling of the leaves, the shortening of the days, blossom turning to berries. There's an online change as well. The views on this channel go right down for a start, but on the bikepacking subreddit, where I'm a semi-regular hanger out, you see the flavour of the posts changing as well. There are less about trip reports, ride reviews, and more talk about gear, bikes, bags, that kind of thing. In the same way that we see these sort of regular seasonal changes in the world, we also see these larger scale, longer term, less predictable climatic shifts. And I think we're seeing that happening online as well. I could be making this up, it could all be in my head, but it seems like there are more and more people all the time who are new to this, who are posting and asking, what equipment do I need? What's the right amount of miles per day to do on a bikepacking trip? How many rest days do I have to take? What is the correct nutritional approach to bikepacking? And, you know, it's fair enough. They're valid questions. And it's good because it means that there's a constant stream of new people discovering the joys of multi-day bike rides, which can only be a good thing. But I don't worry, that's the wrong word, but I consider whether or not the rising popularity of like gravel biking and the headline grabbing sort of records being broken in the ultra endurance racing world are flavouring the opinion of people as to what bikepacking is. And I'm not the gatekeeper of what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't want to get into that. And I don't ever want to be that person who stands up and says to anyone, you're doing it wrong. But I do want to be the first person who stands up and says, there are lots of different ways to do this and none of them are wrong. You know, there absolutely is a place in the world for super high speed, long distance gravel rides and multi-week self-supported endurance races where people are riding 20 hours a day across deserts and things. But there is equally a place for sitting quietly amongst the trees, for riding 30 miles a day between camp spots, for pitching early when you find somewhere nice, having a day off because you found a lovely spot by a little river. Finding your place amongst all of this. That's what it is to me. And I feel the need occasionally to stand up and advocate that point of view because it's the quieter, more kind of laid back point of view and is liable to become lost under the other stuff. You know, that belief that bikepacking is a sport and has to be competitive, you know, whether that be competing against others or competing against yourself. I've never competed against anyone for anything, and I don't think you have to enjoy it. And you know, in a roundabout, weird, rambling kind of way, maybe that does bring us back to John Clare and his poem. You know, maybe that's just all about finding beauty in unexpected places, about being able to see things from multiple perspectives. You know, don't just focus on summer. There's autumn and spring and winter. They've all got their benefits. They're all beautiful in their own ways. And so, to the end, I'm very much looking for feedback on this one because when I left the house this morning, all I had was the first 2 lines of that poem. I hadn't committed the rest of it to memory, let alone thought about what I was going to say afterwards. So this is probably one of my more freestyled videos, and as such will either be a complete bomb or an unexpected viral sensation. Probably the latter, because I am quite sensational when I get going. I think you'll all agree. If you've enjoyed it, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the little bell, get notified whenever I upload. And if you really want to help support the channel, hit the thanks button down below, follow the link in the description to my Ko-fi page, where you can maybe buy some stickers or a spoon, other wooden bits and pieces I might have made recently, or just donate, one-off or monthly. Those people who donate on a monthly basis get 24 hours early access to all my videos, a free set of stickers, and your name added to the list, which is hopefully displaying over here as I speak. I think I'm going to be editing this one on my phone, which makes such things tricky, but I have faith in editor Jethro. He's managed to find a simple solution to that particular issue. So yes, to my regular monthly Ko-fi supporters, my unbridled gratitude as always. It amazes me anyone continues to find value in this thing I'm doing, whatever it may be. And yeah, now I'm just waffling as always. I find the end of these videos rather tricky. I'm never quite sure how to approach it. So the template seems to have become that I say all my thank yous and then I just sort of talk until I completely run out of words, stumble, and say, right now, see you all on the next one.